Oh, New York City's Chrysler building is for sale, and if you're interested, you might be able to get it for cheap considering the last owners were evicted. So, some quick history. In 2008, the government of Abu Dhabi actually purchased 90% of the Chrysler building for $800 million. But in 2019, they sold their shares of the building for only $150 million. Fishy, but I'll tell you why in a minute. They sold to two companies, one being Signa, an Austrian based real estate firm, and RFR, which is a New York State based development firm. Together, they both owned the building until 2024. That was when Cigna could no longer pay rent. An Austrian government stepped in and forced them to sell their shares of the building. Soon after that, RFR could no longer pay their shares of the rent, so a New York State judge stepped in and ordered them to sell their share. They both were evicted. Now, Seville's, the real estate company handling the sale of the building, hasn't released a price tag yet, but I don't think they're going to get too much for this property. It was completed in 1930 and briefly held the title as the world's tallest building at 1,046 feet tall and 77 floors. Unfortunately, a year later, the Empire State Building came along and snatched that title. Back in its prime, the Chrysler Building was this beautiful Art Deco goal of an office building that you wanted to work in. But today's office tenants often complain of bad cell service, small spaces, lack of natural sunlight, grading, installing elevators, these revolving doors often break and jam, murky water coming out of faucets and fountains, and of course, awful pest control problems. Along with just the interior walls and ceilings needing a general facelift, the building itself just doesn't have a lot of the amenities that we see in newer offices today. The big, wide open floor plans, bright, natural sunlight, gyms, outdoor space, just things like that. So I think most important to note here, and going back to that very low $150 million sale price back in 2016, the reason for that is because after whoever plans on buying this building, after you spend your multi-millions of dollars to acquire the building itself, you'll come to find out that you don't actually own the land that the building sits on. That's owned by Cooper Union College. And for as long as you have the keys to the Chrysler building, you will owe Cooper Union anywhere between 32 million and $41 million and annually just to rent out the land that the building sits on. So, any takers?